What if I told you I found the perfect beach? Soft sand for miles, warm water, warm people, and the so fresh seafood. What if I told you about a fishing village that has dreams to host the world? Would you come? Will it lose its charm if I tell you about it? Can a pearl remain hidden once the oysters opened? Altata is an idyllic beach town on the Sea of Cortez, 45 minutes west of Culiacan. This fishing village has got the weather, the beaches, and the food for a life in paradise. But there's a problem. The fish have been depleted, and so too a way of life. And the solution? Well, it's me and you and everyone who loves spending time at the beach. And Altata is eager for us to come. But is that also a problem? Altata has plenty to offer, especially when it comes to food. In my kitchen,
They look so good!
fresh seafood recipes inspired by Sinaloa's hidden coastal gem. Creamy, spicy, to die for Chipotle oyster soup.
Crazy good.
And shrimp machaca burritos to share with Alan.
This is something you can make at school when you go back to college.
I will.
Cheers.
Dame, dame, dame tu chocolate, dame, dame, dame café caliente, dame, dame, dame tu corazón.
Welcome to Altata, a tranquil fishing village where the Pacific Ocean meets the Sea of Cortez. For over 100 years, it had been little more than a few shacks on a beautiful bay. A bay the locals claim produces the tastiest shrimp in all of Mexico. My new friends are the brains behind Altata's makeover, Jose, Charlie, and Raul.
So we said hi, we kissed, we can go.
Yeah, we can go. Welcome.
The first stop on my Altata tour can only be reached by boat. My fellow shipmates are working on a plan to turn this small village into an international destination. No one knows the potential of Altata better than chef and living legend Charlie, who is about as local as it gets.
Well, I born in a canoe
You were born in a canoe here in Altata?
in Altata. Yes, I born in the shore of the sea and from in Altata.
Your mom was pregnant and she was riding the canoe?
When the lady who's come to help me, he cleaned me with the salt water.
Oh my gosh, that's an incredible story.
Yeah.
Altata has always been a perfect getaway for the few visitors in the know, but things are changing and this secret is too good to keep.
Lo más importante que tenemos ahorita en Altata viene siendo el turismo. Es lo más importante que tenemos el turismo porque Altata se está cada día creciendo más.
Every day, every month, every year. It's growing, growing.
That's
growing.
You know
incredible.
why? Because the people, they come into Altata and they don't want to go. But the problem that we don't have hotels or something for the people stay in Altata.
The Altata waters are a treasure.
He's gonna jump! Do you see it?
Sightseeing and swimming for the tourists, and for years, a bounty for fishermen. Until recently.
Yeah, yes, Pati.
Pati.
Alejandro never imagined he and his family would end up on an oyster farm miles from everywhere. The story of the farm starts when, as shrimp fishermen, they notice their catches getting smaller and smaller due to overfishing. They had little choice but to adapt for a different future.
Y ya se cambiaron a las ostiones y ahora se quedan en las ostiones.
En los ostiones porque es algo más seguro.
Now, this is one of several oyster farms in Alejandro's family.
Ah, mira, sí está mucho más grande. ¡Wow!
And lucky for Alejandro, the oysters just love the Altata waters too. I mean, look at the size of these.
¿Listo, Charlie?
Okay.
like super salty
Ahora
all
sí.
around, but once you bite in the center,
Ahora sí necesita.
it's like an explosion of sweetness. No, qué rico. Yo me las como todas.
As local fishermen adapt and struggle to keep up with demand, Jose and his team believe that economic help is on the way.
¡Qué belleza!
Here, we're planning to build small bubbles so you can stay at night.
So
You can
little.
sleep. Yeah, like a small camping, kind of glamping.
And eat oysters all day long.
Yeah, you can stay 2-3 days and rest. At night, you're gonna see stars.
Do any people object about the development of this area?
Sometimes, well, we're taking care and we listen to that.
And how do you guys feel about this new development?
No, estamos encantados.
They're thrilled.
Altata is working hard to be ready for the influx of visitors. Along the boardwalk, you see all the welcoming thatch-roofed restaurants. 2 blocks away, new condo and hotel developments are emerging. In the middle of it all is Charlie's restaurant, Mi Charlie. The fish here is not just fresh. According to Charlie, it's caught locally by him with his own bare hands.
I catch the fishes just with my hands. One time, I bring it to my daughter because my daughter, she don't believe it.
Yeah, that's totally true. I was sitting on the boat, and then when he said, like, Carlita, I got something, like this, like, Dad, is that a fish? Yes.
Regardless of how Charlie catches the fish, there can be no doubt he knows how to cook it. He's making that Mexican beach classic, pescado zarandeado. After skillfully flattening the snapper, he seasons it and then creates a rub out of hot sauce, lime juice, soy sauce, and tons of mayo. The fish is then placed in a cage and set skin side down over a bed of smoldering charcoal. I peek in the kitchen and see fresh tortillas being made. I can barely wait another second.
Esto me va a hacer un taquito.
You're enjoying the pescado zarandeado from Altata.
Very good.
Phenomenal, Charlie. So, Charlie, you were born in Altata. Where is it going,
Va a
Charlie?
venir más gente. I think mostly of the people, they come to eat seafood, the one we selling.
Very different seafood.
The flavor is different from Culiacán.
Me ayuda a pelar otra vez.
It's gonna grow, but it's so rich. You can keep it in a secret. Everyone is coming, but you take care of the treasure that nobody takes it.
I can tell you one thing. I really hope that when I come back to Altata in a few years, I'm gonna be able to eat this same fish and this same jaiba because it's so phenomenal. I'll eat one more.
Okay.
Very good.
I am obsessed with oysters. I mean, I've always liked oysters, but the more the time passes, the more I like them. So I wanted to make a soup that's not only oyster-based, I really want the oysters to shine. That Chipotle flavored oyster soup. I have my pot set at medium heat. I'm going to add a couple of tablespoons of vegetable oil, 1.5 cups of white onion. I'm gonna cut some carrots and some celery. I'm gonna use these vegetables as the soup base. I am really excited about this soup because it's truly phenomenal. Okay, it's not your normal soup. It's not like a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm gonna have an oyster soup tonight. But I'm gonna show you why you're gonna fall in love with this soup. And actually, this soup is inspired in a soup that I used to eat when I lived in Mexico City. There used to be this cantina, and it was called Guadiana 19. It was this really fun, old-fashioned cantina, and they had a very, very limited menu. And everybody talked about their oyster soup. We have 1.5 cups of carrot, celery, and leeks. I'm reserving 1/2 cup to add at the end. I love adding leeks. That is something I got from my mom. Whenever she makes a vegetable soup, she adds leeks, and I think it adds like a really nice, subtle warmth to the soup. And then we're going to broil 1.5 pounds of tomatoes. Whatever you choose that is going to go into your soup, that's the flavor you're gonna get. So if you get tomatoes that are not ripe, that are hard, that haven't fully developed their flavors, then that's what you're gonna get in the soup. I'm going to chop a couple of chipotles in adobo sauce. Chipotles in adobo are jalapenos that are picked not when green like this one, but when ripe and really red, and then they're dried, and then they're smoked, and then they're marinated in a puree of tomato and vinegar and spices for a long time. They have the smoky, the sweet, the spicy. Now I'm also chopping a couple of chiles de árbol. The chipotle en adobo and the chile de árbol are both spicy and smoky. I'm adding some garlic, a teaspoon of dried oregano, a teaspoon of salt. You can see how tasty and how flavorful this vegetable base already looks. And now, by charring or roasting them, we really took them to a completely different level of flavor. That is gonna do so much for that soup. Seeds and juices bursting out of the tomatoes. So here I have homemade chicken broth, and I'm gonna add 5 cups. I find that chicken broth in this soup sort of mellows everything out. Let these come to a simmer, and I'm gonna cook it anywhere from 8 to 10 minutes. I'm gonna puree the soup in here. See, I'm kind of feeling really bad because it looks so good, so chunky, and look at the colors. Yes, If you like rustic chunky, leave it like that. It smells so good and delicious, and look at the color. Look at how creamy this looks. We're just gonna strain this in here. Now, you don't have to strain it, and then you would have a thick puree that would look much more like this. But I'm really going all the way here in making it super velvety, creamy. Pour this back in my soup pot. Turn it back on at a medium-low heat while I shock my oysters. And I learned this trick, which is a great trick, and you have a lot more control. Grab a kitchen towel. You put your 4 fingers over the towel, and you put your thumb under the towel like this, and you create a little like holder for the oyster. You find whatever entry you can get, and then you put your pressure. See? Now, once you open all of it, you want to release the mussel from the top. Same thing in the bottom. Now, you can get your oysters fresh from your fishmonger or at the store, or you can also get them in bottles, already shocked. And the great thing about getting them already shocked is that they come with a lot of the oyster liquid, which you want in the soup. I'm gonna add my vegetables that I had left on the side. I have a pound of already shocked oysters here. Ever since I can remember, I've been obsessed with oysters. I even remember my dad being shocked at how many oysters I could eat. But then again, when I got married and I moved to Texas, my mom came to visit, she was shocked that I now could keep up the pace with my very tall husband. And I eat the same amount of food as Danny, which still shocks Danny to this day. He has to fight for food. Let this simmer really for 1 to 2 minutes because I want the oysters to be very, very tender. The The oysters are nice and plump and super soft. And the tomato broth is very spicy, but it's like the oysters are begging for it. These oysters deserve their own soup. And these ones,
The boardwalk is a place to be in Altata, but it's the end of the boardwalk that is Altata's biggest draw. A collection of 33 restaurants serving the freshest seafood caught from the same waters you dine next to. Standing out amongst this crowd is Long Beach.
Hola.
¿Cómo estás?
¿Tú eres Natalia?
Sí, yo soy Natalia. Hola,
mucho gusto. ¿Y es tu mami?
Ella es mi mamá Norma.
Norma and Natalia are a mother-daughter team carrying on a decades-old tradition begun by Dad. Over the top, creamy, cheesy seafood. They're going to demonstrate their most popular dish, filete Manhattan.
¿Cómo lo hace Norma?
Para preparar la machaca, vamos a cocer el camarón.
¿Lleva machaca?
Machaca de camarón.
Sí, ahí-
We're making machaca. Did you know? Did you know? Did you know? I didn't know. I've been dying to learn how to make shrimp machaca.
Sí.
Oh, yo tenía... Bro, ya me ganó. ¿Qué es agua?
Agua con sal.
Agua con sal.
Ok.
Sí.
Little onion, celery.
Y ya el camarón.
Y le echa todo el camarón.
Sí.
And the shrimp is the vein, but it still has the shell and the tail para que agarre sabor. I've been dying to learn how to make shrimp machaca for such a long time. And it was a surprise. Me habían dicho, ¿saben hacer algo delicioso con queso y camarón?
Sí, es el platillo final. Pero el platillo lleva machaca de camarón y de marlin.
No,
Entonces
pues yo
vamos a hacer el
feliz.
proceso de la
yo
machaca.
feliz. Entonces voy a aprender muchas cosas en
Sí.
uno. ¿Y por qué tiene el nombre Long Beach? Why the name Long Beach?
Inicialmente se llamaba Los Pingüinos, pero mi papá viajó a Estados Unidos,
Ajá.
conoció Long Beach, le gustó la playa, se le hacía que se parecía al Altata y le puso Long Beach el restaurante.
The cooked shrimp are peeled and then mashed.
So the marlin machaca is the same process, but with smoked marlin, which here in Altata you can buy already smoked. Wherever you may live, you may not, but there's nothing we can do about that.
¿Saco el filete?
Sí.
Norma assembles the dish by scattering aromatics, raw oysters, and mushrooms on a plate. Then she makes a bed of smoked marlin and shrimp machaca for the cooked fish fillet and the shrimp to lie on, before they get covered in chipotle mayo and a blanket of local white cheese. This is gonna be good.
¡Perfecto! Ok.
Ándale.
Es eso que ya se ama.
Tú dirás si está bueno o no está bueno. Si realmente vale la pena que tenga el nombre de filete Manhattan.
No, está exquisito. It all comes together under that like creamy chipotle
Yo creo que es así
cheesy
como...
thing. If I lived here, I would come here and order this every single time. It's so good.
Comiendo.
¡Qué delicia! I want to show you how to make shrimp machaca. And I love the word machaca so much. You know what machaca translates to? Mashing. So I have here a pound of shrimp because we're gonna make some really, really packed with flavor shrimp machaca burritos. And doesn't that sound fun? I'm gonna begin by soaking a couple of morita chiles. Morita chiles are jalapenos that have been picked ripe and dried, and the taste is just sweet. It's sort of like prune, but super, super feisty and spicy. And because these are very hard to stem and seed, I'm gonna soak them for a little. They're just going to sit there in the hot boiling water and rehydrate for a few minutes. And now, let's get back to the machaca conversation. I have water that's simmering here, and I'm going to heavily salt it. I'm gonna add my shrimp, and these are already peeled. I wanna cook these shrimp for like 30 seconds. You don't wanna thoroughly cook them, you just want them to transform from raw to barely cooked. I'm gonna count 5 machacas. There should be a dance called machaca. There's a salsa, there's a cha-cha-cha, there should be a machaca, and you can make that one up. So I'm gonna leave the shrimp here to cool for a second before I do the machaca thing to them. But now I'm gonna, in the same water, I'm not gonna waste it, I'm gonna use this water, I'm gonna peel a potato, I'm gonna dice it, and I'm gonna cook it. In Mexican cooking, we have a thing, rinde, or make something rendir, which is you wanna stretch the use of a protein that may be expensive by adding a little bit of potato, or you could add rice too. You're sort of extending the use of the shrimp and making it last for more burritos. This is gonna be just like 5 minutes. Grab your shrimp and you put them inside of a plastic bag. See how fast? You want to get to the point where you're breaking the shape of the shrimp, but you don't want a paste. A machaca needs to have texture. There, that's perfect. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of peanut oil, a cup of chopped white onion. So I thought about adding peanut oil. I will tell you why. I wanted to add sesame seeds and I wanted to add the chipotle chile. And if you combine those 3 things, the peanut oil with the sesame seeds with the morita, you're adding 3 ingredients that are deep, that are toasty, that are smoky. I am going to chop the morita chiles that have been soaking. See how it rehydrated, but mostly I wanted to soak it in the water so that I can get the seeds out. You don't want the morita chiles in there because they're so spicy. Chiles love the company of other chiles. You have this fresh, almost citrusy heat from the serrano, and then you have the nutty, rustic, super smoky heat from the moritas. We're gonna add the morita chiles and the serrano chiles in here too. 3 tablespoons of sesame seeds, a couple of garlic cloves, a pound and a half of very ripe tomatoes that I already diced. And Sammy, thank you so much for this bowl. Sammy made this bowl. Oh, look at this mix. I wanted to make a machaca that not only was super delicious, but really, really packed with flavor, because one of the key secrets to making really good burritos is to have a filling that can stand on its own. Now I'm going to add my shrimp, my potato, a half a teaspoon of salt. You can see how it's all coming together in here. So good. I'm gonna heat my comal for the tortillas, and I'm gonna make a quick salsita. We're making a salsita verde cruda. Cruda means raw. I have a pound of tomatillos, 1 serrano chile, 2 tablespoons onion, 3/4 of a teaspoon of salt, this whole thing of cilantro. We have good flour tortillas.
Mama.
More. Do you want to try it with the salsita?
Yeah.
Good?
Oh, so good, yeah.
You have the feeling, which is so like toasty, nutty, spicy. But then with the raw salsita, it's like playing with you.
I love that you use this tortilla, the flour tortilla. It goes so well with the filling.
I know.
Is this how burritos always are in Mexico? They're always rolled up like this, really small?
The burritos that we have here that have the rice and beans and sour
Right.
cream, that's not usual.
No.
Like the respect.
No, I like
for,
this so much better exactly because it's so simple.
This is something you can make at school when you go back to college.
I will.
Shrimp machaca burritos for your friends. Cheers.